National Rally starts on the 2nd of June in Ermelo and goes through the clock.
It was a hot and windy day at Southwell, just outside of Grahamstown, when 59 crazy drivers and their co-drivers got into their mean machines to start the 5th PG Windscreen Settler 500 off-road race. This was also the first time that this race was part of the national circuit. The track, if you can call it that, must be the worst in the country. To normal people, this must sound strange, but to these drivers, it's actually something they look forward to. Off they were on the 62-kilometer course in their Buckies, Beetles, Sandmasters, Spiders and other strange-looking vehicles. No motorbikes were entered, as it was too dangerous, seeing that the second day's race consisted of 3 laps. To make it a bit more competitive for the entrants, the vehicles are grouped into 9 different classes. The classes are determined by frame design, also limiting factors such as the suspension, engine capacity, Weber's per cylinder, carburation, turbocharger and a supercharge. All this is determined and specified by SA Motorsport Control. Klaus Degener came charging down this hill as if he left his paycheck down there. He was followed very closely by Robin Yates, while a couple of windswept spectators looked on. You take the low road and I'll take the high road and I'll be there before you. Oh well, maybe next time, just as soon as I find out where we are going, after all. Must be what Philip Fullewn was telling Jack Spencer, which he also did, seeing that he finished 4 places ahead of Jack. Stratford Fucht tried his best to hurt the suspension of this Toyota, but to no avail. And with that breakneck speed, he worked himself into 13th position for the start of day 2. Some guys thought that pushing their cars could get them to the finish line a little bit sooner. But were they going the right way? Even after Robert Wark showed him which road to take, he still persisted in trying to go backwards. Some people just never learn. This guy was trying everything to outrun Gerard Bruce, who in turn was being chased by Vernon Axon. Gerard actually finished 17 positions ahead of Vernon. Sideways, Selwyn Robinson gave it everything he had, and sometimes even more, while his sidekick, Donald Duck, or should I rather say, Don Broadhurst, was doing a breakdance, holding on and showing the route out to Selwyn all at the same time. From the Sony in-car camera, we actually see the driver fighting the long brown monster in front of him. At this speed, it's hard to believe that they never even touched a gatepost. Well done, I say. Of Obviously, this combination worked well for them, for the next day, they started off 8th on the grid. This poor fellow nearly went into the ditch, but fortunately braked in the nick of time. Arno van der Westhuizen was definitely pursued by something very, very big, because the chopper pilot, Ken Whittle, had to open up all the throttles to keep up with him. He went straight into the ditch, but luckily his Chenoweth climbed on the other side just as easily and proceeded as if nothing had happened. Excuse me, sir, please give way to the oncoming traffic on the left. Was he being so kind, or was it possibly because of this guy with the camera? Harry Roscoe held the prime position on the grid for the start of the second day, with Linton Draper and Richard Schilling in second and third, and Klaus Degener fourth, followed by Robin Yates. At sunrise, we asked Harry Roscoe how he felt about the big guns behind him.
It's frightening, but I think their cars are more capable of going through the rough stuff for longer periods than I went yesterday. I mean, there's no ways I can drive my car as fast as I did yesterday for the period I think expected of today. So I think they got a better chance because their cars are far superior to mine.
Richard Schilling also commented on his chances of winning the race at that stage.
Good. Take it easy to start off with. Do one lap, refuel. Have learned where the course is, where the opportunities are. And then keep on going consistently and hopefully end up in front.
Big Bix Carolyn off on his way on the beginning of day 2 on the Settlers 500. Richard Schilling's meaning of slow means something rather different to the normal use of the word. And so he had to pay the price by losing a couple of minutes or two to change a front wheel. Glenn Parker also had a minor problem here, but was soon back on the road. Unfortunately, he never finished the race because while helping a fellow contestant, his own car ran over him and injured his legs. Glenn was the only contestant in Class 7, and therefore Class 7 had no overall winner. Who said cows can only be caught by them cowboys on horseback? This is just a horse of a different color. Robin Yates races behind the calf, which was later roped down by traffic wardens for speeding. How the suspension of these cars last on these roads for 3 laps of 146 kilometers each, only the manufacturers will know. This competitor left a checkpoint like a bullet out of a barrel, leaving a dusty trail in the early morning and the dry East Cape countryside. Again, the suspension of the Raceco Kajima of Bix Carolyn was doing more than its fair share of work. Maybe that's why he needs a sponsor. With the sun still low over the mountains in the Eastern Cape, 2 of the competitors tried to hide in the shady part of the mountain. It wasn't long before the sun spotted their dusty trail and followed them down here, spraying its scorching rays on the whole track so that later there was no place to hide. Grant Ranger tried to get too much out of his car, and he, like so many others, paid the penalty and had to retire after only 2 hours and 57 minutes. But many of the competitors were merely on a road to nowhere. Eugene Potgieter and T-Ranger didn't look too happy with this rocky downhill slide and had to hold on for dear life, yet still had a little bit of time to speak to some of the spectators. Carefully maneuvering down the treacherous decline in their green Mamba, El Chandler also couldn't make it to the finish. So, trying to go where you want to go isn't always as easy as you find it, and adds some more meaning to those musical words, slip sliding away. Beaten and battered, Chris Kunecker tried to sell his bakkie off piece by piece, but I don't think there were any buyers at that stage. Even the Panda had lost its smile at this stage of the race. They came down the decline, which was quickly baptized as Bandit Hill. This monstrous, uneven, rugged piece of East Cape terrain in fact stole the chances of many of the competitors of winning their classes, let alone finishing the race. Harry Roscoe was right when he said he couldn't go that fast for that long, because just after he went down here, he lost both his front wheels and had to call it a day. Some guys have suspensions on their cars, and other guys have suspensions. Philip Milan and Richard Leake had to quit, as did Selwyn Robinson. Didn't see that road sign when I went for my license a couple of years ago. Looks like Chris Kunecker eventually found a buyer for that back part of his vehicle. The 2 days of near bundu bashing, rugged terrain, searing heat and aching muscles were all worth the effort for these two. Bucks Carolyn and Mike Pretorius came through yet again in fine style for a deserved win in both class and overall position. Seeing as though most of the champagne went to waste all over their bodies, they decided to have a beer, or two, or three.
We started off 7th this morning, and we had a few problems. We threw a fan belt and it knocked off the dizzy cap, and we had no real major problems. We had to get out the car, spark plug lead came off, and all the guys gave us a hard time. I think the worst guy was Glenn Parker and RP Reinecker. We've been with him the whole day. I'm surprised I think he's got a little bit of a problem, but we're expecting him any minute now. And it was a good race. I enjoyed it.
23 minutes behind in second position, Stratford Foote, with Richard Schilling retaining his third position. Assistant Clerk of the course, Marie Primmick, with a few positive words.
The PG Windscreen Settler 500 is a very great event in the Eastern Cape. We've put the Settler country on the map. We've been fighting very hard to get national championship status, to get recognition for the Eastern Cape. We work very hard with the local environmental people. The farmers give us tremendous support, and we're very, very proud of having the race. It's the 5th one on the national calendar. So for the competitors, it's very important to score well today. It was very rough. The other races were more truck orientated, where this is space frame, but some you win and some you lose. We're very happy about the total outcome of the event, and the feedback of the local people is absolutely great. We've had tremendous support with the Eastern Capers.
Although only 18 of the original 59 finished, it really was a tremendous event. The final positions presently on your screen.